Students, they can choose many kinds of subjects. In my country, our education system is only focused on the academic.
We as Americans currently are lacking behind, I think, in our value system regarding education.
They don't know how much school can help you in your future.
Education's key. You have to have a good education to be able to make it in today's world.
I feel that it's important, but sometimes we need to have a little bit more variety in the classes that we have, because sometimes it just gets really boring around here.
I come to school mainly for my friends. I mean, I do like some of the classes here, but most of them are kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie.
I can honestly say I do not study. I do not do my homework or anything. All my homework is done in class and my studying. I do nothing at home.
The subject we can choose is limited, like mathematics, Chinese, of course, English, and geometry, geography. I heard about the United States. In United States, the students, they can choose many kind of different classes, courses, right? So I think in my country it's limited.
We don't have like algebra, geometry. We have like mathematics, and you learn like for 1 month you learn algebra, other month you do trig, third month you do geometry. We cover up the things we do like in 3 years. We cover that in 1 year. Because like we have math like every day for like maybe 1 hour or 2 hours like every day.
So by the time you graduate from high school, you have a...
Yeah, but it depends because we don't have in my country, like in France, every country in Europe, not every high school is the same. You can choose when you finish your middle school, when you want to go to high school, you choose if you want to be a lawyer, you go to a certain type of school. If you want to be if you think you're going to be an athlete, you go to other school. If you want to be, I don't know, like if you want to work in a bank, you get other type of school. There's like maybe 30 types of school. So in some schools they don't learn so much mathematics. In other schools they learn more biology. If you want to be in medicine, in other schools they do history. So not every school is the same.
In my country, if you can give. I can see one kid and tell him he do some mistake, touch him and beat him. They say, why you do that? And if you do that here, you go to jail, you go to Guantanamo. they break every time the rule. They do respect the rule. If like people say you have to do this, you say yes. And tomorrow they do another thing. They want to be free. They think if you give them advice, you try to give them
Tell them what to do.
Yeah, you tell them what to do.
I went to Morehead State University for half a semester, and when I got out of high school, and I really didn't like it. I was away from home and got homesick, and I decided to come back home. I was an average student. I made B's and C's. I just didn't really like being at school. I was, an average student and just got by with, being there and having to do what I had to do. The jobs that I worked in between school was just kind of, gas station, and I worked at King's Ham, and just a lot of different places, minimum wage jobs.
After graduation, I went to University of Rio Grande, played basketball there for a year, and I played actually only half the season until grades came out, and didn't do so hot. I really didn't. I didn't have any jobs. I was losing jobs left and right. Just didn't have any future ahead of me. No retirement or anything like that. There is no jobs without any degrees out there. It's very hard to find a good job without at least a 2-year degree.
I wanted something more for my life, and I just knew I needed to go back to school. I went back to school to be a patient care specialist, which I do phlebotomy, EKGs, and CNA work. And now, after doing that for 11 months, I work at St. Mary's. I'm a pediatrics unit. Life has changed drastically. I now can pay my bills, I can have extra money to do things, and I feel like I've accomplished something in life.
But I mean, it's never too late. I understand that. Got 2 quarters left before I get my 2-year degree. So.
We're really going way beyond the borders of the United States, and we're starting to go a lot more global.
I think it's vital, today for students to get a higher education. At one point, a high school degree, diploma, was all that was really necessary to find good employment and make a good living here in the United States. And over the last 3 or 4 decades, or even more, we've seen where a 4-year college degree then became a necessity to nail down a good job, and then a master's degree, and then maybe a PhD or postdoctorate work even became, a necessity. So as specialties have been developed and our knowledge base has increased, it takes longer to get more education. So the need really has changed for students to acquire good employment and to be competitive in the workforce today. So it's very, very critical.
The only thing I will say, your teachers are going to tell you every day that you have to learn this stuff and that you have to be able to function whenever you get out of school. Listen to them. We all used to laugh and joke around whenever even I was in school, but you will never understand how important it is. And these years that you're going through right now teach you so much more than you will ever realize. You go through college, you're going through high school, you go through college, you get out into the business world, and it is just totally different. You will find yourself falling back on these lessons that you are learning right now every day.
We have abundant resources. We've been blessed as a nation to have lots of opportunities for education and employment, and in comparison to other countries who have little resources and highly competitive opportunities for education, I've seen other nations, students actually here in America from India and China who seem to regard their education and their value system, and it's cultural too, so much more as a part of their belief system and their time allotment. They spend so much more time on acquiring knowledge. They're hungry for knowledge.
In my country, China, we have a huge population, 1.3 billion. It's really huge. So the competition is really serious, competitive, right? It's really serious. So if you have no education, you cannot find a good job. It's really hard to find a good job without education. So that is very important. And the other thing is, if you had a very good background about education, I think your life will be better. Like the people who have very good education background, he's very kind, right? Very friendly and very full of knowledge. And your life will change.
I think to get a good job, minimum requirement is to have a college degree. And nowadays, because of the low employment rate, we need more higher degree, like master's degree.
In India, technically a schooling system starts at the age of 3 as opposed to 5 or 6 in USA. In 3, a kid goes to a lower kindergarten and then upper kindergarten and then starts the first standard. From first standard till the 10th standard, everything is a rigorous race. With a nation having billion people, you should definitely think about running fast. When everybody is walking, you need to run. When everybody is running, you need to fly.
I do believe that a well-rounded education in a college setting gives you a perspective on life, and in several different arenas. It helps you have tolerance for other belief systems, other cultures, people from other parts of the country, other parts of the state that might not look like you, dress like you, talk like you. And so in business and in life, being tolerable of different types of people and different belief systems helps you understand their point of view, and when they're speaking and communicating, that makes you a better business person, a better employee, a better boss, because you then have the ability to have empathy and put yourself in their shoes and have an understanding of where they're coming from. And I think that is a hallmark of good wisdom and a maturity that comes along with a good, sound education.
Everything that you do on a daily basis, you have to be very literate in mathematics. You have to know how to figure, especially in this business. You can't really make it in anything in this company without knowing your basics, especially with math and the speaking skills. I would suggest if you have a chance to take a speech class, take it. That is one of the major things that I have learned going through school and getting into business. You have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to make eye contact. You have to be well-spoken. You have to be able to get your point across. It's not very realistic in today's business world to try to hold a conversation with somebody when they're not on the same page or they don't know how to get their point across. Especially with everybody's attention spans now in the day and age of Blackberries and instant messaging and texting. Everybody's really quick to just get the point across and leave. You can't do that in business. It has sped up, but you have to be able to speak clearly, and you have to be able to acknowledge what another individual is trying to get across, and that type of thing. It's very, very important.
Competition is very stiff competition, and you got to pass through all that competition to get into a course into which you desire.
If you're smart and you have a good character, like you have a good education.
The American student of today, to succeed in our current economic situation, first of all, you've heard the phrase, work smarter, not harder. And of late, I'm not sure that I believe that. I think my philosophy now is that a student should work smarter and harder to get that competitive edge. I think we have to imply good reasoning skills, good decision-making ability, or good wisdom, so to speak, with a good work ethic. And I had a professor at Ohio State who commented to me one time I was struggling with my grades, and he said, just work hard and the grades will take care of themselves. If you do all the work and do your best and not worry about the grade, they'll come in time. And so I think there's lessons to be learned there, that working harder and smarter together are the answer. I think a lazy man's way is to work smarter, not harder. So I think to get the competitive edge today, students, American students especially, need to go back some of our brass roots value systems of actually having a good, strong work ethic, good wisdom, good decision-making ability, and working smart.